the thing we should do. There we go. So welcome everyone to the Business Builder. Thank you so much for joining me today. Really hope that you get a lot out of today's session. If you reacted to a title called Overcoming Overwhelm, then I am very much here for you today, and I hope that you take home things that help you, not just to overcome your overwhelm, but to build a business that doesn't result in overwhelm. So let's get going. Before we actually start with the training, let's take a look at why you should actually listen to what I have to say about overwhelm. My name is Tamron, and I am the founder and CEO of the Farside Group. The group is 16 years old now, and it currently consists of Farside Accounting in South Africa and the UK, the Farside Business Builder, which you are attending right now, our business club, our support club for small business owners, and Farside Foundations, which is our non-profit organization which focuses on supporting the women of South Africa build the foundations of their future. But it has been a long and hard road here, and I made multiple mistakes building up this business. And as a result, I went through burnout 3 times. My third bout of burnout was really bad. I have always been an extremely healthy person, but burnout wrecked my immune system, threw my brain chemistry out of balance, and completely upended my hormonal balance. I ended up overweight, exhausted, moody, depressed, and teetering right on the edge of a complete mental breakdown. And as bad as that sounds, it was still one of the best things that ever actually happened to me and my business, because it made me stop. It made me take a step back and reevaluate how I was doing things. There is actually, if you have a look on our YouTube channel, there's a video where my partner Isel interviews me about the journey of Farside, and you can listen to all the detail there if you really want to. But for today, what I want you to know is that when I talk about being overwhelmed, overworked, and underpaid, I am not speaking theoretically. I know where you are. I have been there, and it sucked. And the things I'm going to teach you today are not theory. They are the steps that I personally implemented in my life and my business, and I know that they work. And I guarantee you that if you implement them, you will build a better life for yourself as well as a better business. So let's get into the training. Are you tired, overwhelmed, and reaching the point of just being over it? Are you wondering why on earth you went into running your own business? You are not alone. Burnout happens in 78% of business owners. 78%. It is a very high percentage. And unfortunately, we don't often recognize it for what it is. We think we're just tired. We think we're just stressed. And the only way to combat burnout is to recognize it. So we recognize burnout, we recognize its causes, and then you can chop those causes off right at the knees. So firstly, how do you know if what you're feeling is burnout or just stress? Because there is a lot of overlap between the two. Exhaustion, possible depression, loss of motivation and passion, mood swings, general unhappiness. These are things that are associated with both burnout and stress. So the easiest way to tell if you are suffering from burnout is to pay attention to how you are feeling in different situations. because stress is caused by a specific circumstance or a place or a person. So if you remove the cause, if you leave the office, if you stop a job, if you cancel a client, you're okay again. But burnout happens when that stress has invaded your life. There is no escape. So leaving the office or spending a weekend away does not help. Stress is characterized by a feeling of too much. You have too much work and too much responsibility, and it feels overwhelming. Whereas burnout is characterized by a feeling of not enough. So you have too much stress and you have nothing left inside you to deal with it. Now, this is a very shallow test, so I suggest you do a little bit more checking before you actually go defining whether you have burnout or not. We do have, I'm popping it in the chat now, we have a little quiz, a free quiz that you can take if you want, but you can also Google your symptoms and you can even chat to your doctor. It is worth doing if you think that you are burning out. And if you decide you are suffering from burnout or you are on the verge of burnout, you need to start looking for the causes. This burnout has three main causes. Reason number one is working too hard or having too much responsibility. So it might not be too much work. It might just be a sense of responsibility for too much. And burnout happens when too much work and responsibility gets combined with too few resources. Now, resources can be cash, they can be skills, they could be your time, it could be people. It doesn't matter what they are. The problem is that you don't have enough of them to do the work that needs to be done. So if reasons 1 and 2 are combined, they lead to chronic stress. And sustained chronic stress, with a sustained workload and a sustained lack of resources, leads to burnout. So in order to combat burnout, you have to implement changes that deal directly with the causes. And the most important cause to combat is your chronic stress. Because chronic stress is not just bad for your mental and emotional health, it is bad for your physical health. So you need to make it a priority to combat your stress. I have a free ebook, again, link in the chat, which I wrote on how to beat burnout, and I've got 4 steps in it that deal directly with reducing the impact of stress. If you are feeling chronic stress, whether it is prolonged or not, I encourage you to grab the book. It's 100% free. So please do just grab it and go through those steps that will help you. But today we are looking, we are looking at overcoming your overwhelm, not simply defining it. So let's take a look at how the 3 causes of burnout happen to business owners. Worldwide, 21.5% of businesses fail in their first year of business. In the UK, this number jumps to 30%, and in South Africa, the number jumps to a rather terrifying 71% of businesses failing before they reach month 12. Of the businesses that do survive, another 75% fail before they reach year 5. That means that by the time 5 years have passed, 80% of all small businesses would have closed their doors. Why? Why do so many businesses fail? The number 1 reason for business failure is a lack of financial literacy and cash management skills, which we can all understand why that would lead to stress and burnout. But followed extremely closely behind is a lack of knowledge and experience in the business owner. because you opened your business because you're good at something. Most of us have a skill set, something we excel in, that we worked in for years, and we open our business because we're good at that thing and we want to do it for ourselves instead of for a boss. Some of us might have been forced into that position because maybe your company had to close down because of the pandemic or you were retrenched. So you might not have chosen to work for yourself willingly, but you still chose the service your business offers because that is the thing you are good at. Accountants open accounting practices. Architects open architectural firms. Plumbers open plumbing businesses. We do what we're good at. And then we put our heads down and we work as hard as we can because we believe that hard work leads to success. And now here's the problem. When you worked for someone else, hard work did lead to success. When you are an employee and you work for a good boss, then all you need to do to be successful in your career is to work hard and keep improving your skill set. If you do, you'll get results, you get recognition, achievements, bonuses, and promotions. But the reason that hard work results in success is because your job exists within an existing business framework. You already have an entire company infrastructure supporting your role within that business. That is why all you need to do is focus on what you're good at and do it well. But when you open a business, you now are alone. So you need to do what you're good at, and you need to build that entire business framework that supports it. In order to build a viable business, you need to build something that doesn't need you. It is its own being, its own entity that can and does exist separately to you. That is a real business. And that is the most common reason that business owners experience burnout. You are a single person trying to be an entire organization. We can do it for a short period of time, but if we continue trying to be an entire business for too long, we are going to burn out. It is just not physically possible to be and do everything that a business needs. So we need to build a proper business structure. But if you've reached the stage of overwhelm and burnout, then you probably don't have the energy, the strength, and the passion that you need to build your business infrastructure. So before we attempt business building, we need to open up time for us to heal and become strong again. And that is what we are looking at today. We are looking at 4 things that you can implement in your business that will create more time for you so that you can overcome that overwhelm, you can heal, and then you can become a better business owner. And the first thing you need to implement in your business is the power of saying no. It sounds incredibly simple. It is incredibly simple. But people make the mistake of thinking that simple things are easy. Learning to say no is not easy, especially not for professionals who take pride in their work, or perfectionists who have high standards, and for business owners who need more money. So in order to learn how to say no in your life, I want you to internalize 2 concepts. The first is that taking time off is good for your business. Most of the business owners I speak to will say something along the lines of, I can't afford to take time off. Does it sound familiar? So I am here to tell you that you can't afford not to take time off. There have been numerous psychological studies, one of which I will share with you in the chat so you can see I'm not making it up, have found that taking time off is beneficial, and not just for you, for the work that you do. These studies have shown that as little as 2 days off, in other words, a weekend, taking a weekend leads to reduced stress levels, which increase creative thinking. The reduced stress levels and increased creative thinking lead to better problem-solving abilities, and those lead to more lateral thinking, all of which benefit your business. Time off has been found to result in better mental clarity. If you keep pushing, you just simply exhaust your brain. You will not be able to think as clearly as you could before. And your memory and your ability to be creative, whether that is problem solving or actually creating something for your job, is severely compromised. And the harder you push, the worse it gets. So giving your brain a chance to recharge makes a massive difference. Time off results in improved productivity. When your brain and your body are tired, even the simplest of tasks are just too much to deal with. Taking time off helps you to revitalize your passion and your focus, and you will return more productive than when you stopped. Time off results in better balance, because I know your business means the world to you. I know that this is something that you are creating like a child. You're growing it like a child. But if you don't take time off, you begin to lose a sense of self. You need to remember who you are and retain your personal spark, because that is the spark that started this business in the first place. You and your passion and your ideas are your unique selling point. Your business needs you. So you can't be a washed out shell of yourself. You need to have work-life balance. You also need focus. Time away gives you a chance to refocus and to gain perspective. This is also true for individual challenges. If you're battling with a specific problem or project, going for a quick walk or having a 20-minute nap, or even shutting down for the day and starting again tomorrow morning, can have massive success in getting you an answer. But it's also true for your business as a whole. You will be amazed how going on holiday, even if it's just a few days, gives your brain a chance to refocus on the passion that drove you in the first place. And you will come back from holiday full of energy and full of exciting ideas for your business. And the last benefit of taking time off is better relationships. Because yes, your business needs you to focus on your business, but you need you to focus on the people in your life. Quality time with your loved ones is good for your mental health and good for your personal happiness, both of which end up benefiting your business anyway. And if you want a cold, hard, practical reason to spend time with your loved ones, then think about the fact that if you neglect the people in your life, they will have no reason to stand by you when you need them in tough times. And if you are building a business, you will have tough times and you will need your loved ones. So be there for them now before you need them to be there for you. We have a video on YouTube that summarizes the benefits of time off, and it's actually in fun little animations that are far more exciting than what I just did. You're welcome to go watch that when you want to. I've put the link in the chat for you. But the second concept that I need you to internalize is that taking time off for you to look after yourself is a business activity. So I mentioned earlier that there are 3 causes of burnout, and chronic stress is the one you need to prevent most. And chronic stress is what takes overwhelm to burnout, and it leads to emotional, mental, and physical issues that are all very slow to fix. And if you are your business and you collapse, your business is going to crumble with you. The health of your business is directly proportional to your physical and mental health. So if you want your business to flourish, you need to take care of yourself. And that means that self-care is a business necessity and can therefore be considered a business activity, because you are protecting the business by protecting yourself. So now if you have those 2 concepts clear in your mind, in order to implement them and the power of saying no, you need to embrace the power of scheduling. Time is our most precious resource. It is also the only resource that we cannot create more of. You can make more money. You can hire more people, but you cannot produce more time. So you should be jealously and fiercely guarding your time. You need to say no to anything that takes you away from your rest. Say no to anything that takes you away from money-generating tasks and anything that takes away your peace. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to use a schedule. You want to be scheduling time into your calendar for you, your hobbies, and your rest, the things that make you happy. We just spent a whole bunch of time talking about why it's important to rest and have breaks. Put the breaks, put the rest on your calendar. Block them out so that people cannot book you and you don't end up booking something else in that slot. Schedule your business activity of taking time off. Schedule your big projects and your important clients. Set specific time slots. You can do it in slots in a day or full days, it doesn't matter, but set time where you give full focus to your big ticket clients and give them value. And then schedule time for the things that have to be done so that tomorrow is less stressful. Your admin and your planning and your big picture stuff. Make time for it on the calendar so that your week will go better. Please don't multitask. I know people think that multitasking is productive, but it is actually the enemy of being productive. And we have a little video for that as well, which I'm sharing in the chat. Lots of stuff for you to go look at in the chat. But don't multitask. Be focused on what you are doing. Be intentional with your calendar and give your full focus to one thing at a time, including the time you make for yourself. Having your week mapped out clearly will give you a much clearer sense of what is your responsibility and what is not. And when your week is mapped out, it's a lot easier to say no to something that will mess up your plans. You can even just go, oh, I'm so sorry, I'd love to, but I already have a meeting, I already have a booking. You don't have to explain that that booking is other work or your time at the spa. You've got a booking, you cannot give that time to the person who is asking you. So take back control of your life simply by taking control of your calendar. The next step is related to gardening. Every good gardener knows that in order for a fruit tree to have a productive yield in the next season, you have to prune it this season. And the reason we lop off dead branches from a tree is so that the tree doesn't waste food and energy on the branches that aren't producing. And you too, in your business, need to cut out the dead wood. Except I like to say you need to cut out your dread wood. What I mean by that is toxic clients. I mean the clients that fill you with dread when you think of them. They are unpleasant and difficult. They always demand more from you than they've actually been charged for, and then they fight about paying. So the first thing you need to do for your mental well-being is to cut these people out of your life. I know that cutting clients is scary, but I have seen in practice for myself and for my clients that when you cut out your toxic clients, your income actually increases because these clients that you're clinging to in fear aren't paying you and they're overworking you. So when they aren't there, your time for other projects increases and your cash flow improves. So step one, cut out your dread wood. Take a deep breath and cancel your toxic clients. This will improve your mental health, your emotional state, and it directly impacts on the two causes of burnout: too much work, too few resources. It is a very powerful step for you as a business owner. Do not be scared to do it. It always has positive results. The next step is related to cooking. I call it grow your dough. You need to review your pricing because I am very sure that you are not charging your full value. Very few people actually recognize their true value because for us, the job is easy. I'll give you an accounting example. It is very easy for me to pull a tax clearance certificate. It is easy for me to submit an annual return to the CIPC. And I don't find it hard to produce a set of financial statements. I have been doing these things for 2 decades. That gives away my age. I can probably do these things asleep. And because it is easy for me, I forget that it is not easy for my client. And my doing it for them has massive benefits because I will do them correctly. So there's no future blowback from the taxman or investors or partners or employees. I will do them quickly, so there's no stress about deadlines or penalties. So my doing it for the client is of far greater value to them than the fact that for me, it's just simply easy. My easy services are exceptionally valuable to my client, and I should charge my value, not more than my value, but definitely not as little as I was charging when I burnt out. So review your pricing and never, ever again offer a discount. Offering a discount immediately devalues what you do. You are telling your client that the service is worth less than your original price. Don't discount. There are instances that discounts work, and normally it's related to physical goods. It never pays to discount a service. Rather, do something like a value exchange. I can drop my price for you if you do something for me. So if you bring me another 3 clients, I can take X amount off your bill. or if you give me a wonderful video testimonial telling people how great my services are, then we can lop an amount off your bill. I really encourage you to spend some time thinking about your pricing and thinking about the value to your clients and being careful about discounting. And lastly, offer more value to the clients that you like. You've got rid of your dreaded clients, so have a look at your favorite ones and upsell. If they are happy with your service now, then they will happily take more services from you. And then you're going to be making more money from fewer clients, and it's going to be from the clients you like dealing with. As long as you make sure you are giving your clients value, you can charge for that value, and you can charge the same client for multiple services because they'll be happy to take them from you. And the fourth step is what I call share the love. Leverage the power of outsourcing. I have a YouTube video, another one, that I'm going to pop in the chat for you, where we actually detail all the benefits of outsourcing and why you should do it. But very quickly, outsourcing is going to reduce your workload and increase your time available. It gives you time for yourself and time for you to spend on your planning and review. It is an exceptionally powerful tool for business growth if it is done correctly. So use it. Use outsourcing to get rid of tasks that steal your time but don't make you money. Use it to get rid of tasks you hate doing, tasks that fill you with dread and unhappiness. Life is too short, and I can promise you that there is someone out there who actually enjoys that particular task. So let them do it. And use outsourcing to generate two streams of income at the same time, because you can outsource lower level tasks while you focus on the ones that bring in the most money. If you do want to start outsourcing, we have an ebook all about leveraging the power of outsourcing. I'll put the link in the chat now. And in it, I walk you through mistakes to avoid and things to implement when you want to start outsourcing to a third party, because it is something that only works if done correctly. If you outsource to the wrong person or in the wrong way, it does not reduce your stress. So if you are thinking of using outsourcing, then please do grab the book. These 4 steps will help you take some pressure off yourself and to improve things within your business. But most importantly, they help you open up time, and you can use that time to start building a proper business framework. So to summarize, burnout happens in 78% of business owners, and it is caused by too much work combined with too much responsibility and prolonged stress. To combat burnout, you need to fix the causes. And for business owners, the biggest trigger of causes arises from us trying to be an entire business all by ourselves. You need to build a business that supports you instead of you supporting it. You can't build that business if you are in a state of burnout and overwhelm. So the first thing you need to do is overcome the overwhelm by taking back control of your life, which you can do with 4 steps. Embrace the power of scheduling. Use it to make time for yourself, time for your important tasks, and ways of saying no. Cancel your toxic clients. Do not keep clients because you're scared of losing the income. Toxic clients are not worth the income. Learn to charge your value and upsell to your good clients. and leverage the power of outsourcing. These 4 steps will help you to take pressure off yourself and improve things in your business. But the last thing that I want to leave you with is to do this one small step at a time. If you are already feeling overworked and overwhelmed, then trying to implement everything all in one massive go is not going to help you. So pick one and implement it slowly. And when you feel you have been successful, pick the next one. Incremental changes, no matter how tiny, still represent improvement. If you would like some help building your business and managing your burnout, please give us a shout. I do offer one-to-one coaching and training, but more excitedly than that, I am launching 2 workshops. I have changed our burnout programs, our one-to-one programs, into workshops. So we have the burnout prevention workshop, which is 8 weeks long for 2 hours a week. And in those 8 weeks, we look at the shifts in thinking that you need to go through in order to transition from professional to business owner, the 4 pillars of business that you need to build to keep your roof up, how to effectively build your team that's in-house and outsourced, and how to delegate to that team to get desired results, how to work fewer hours but make more money, and how to achieve the freedom you were actually seeking when you started that business in the first place. However, if you are actually already at the point of overwhelm and burnout, then this workshop is not for you because you're not in a space where you can learn more and implement more. You need to heal yourself before you can heal your business, in which case our burnout correction workshop is for you. This workshop is all about tiny changes that have a massive impact on improving your life. Because you need to do things slowly and in small steps, we run it over 6 months instead of 6 weeks. But we do offer weekly support. And in this workshop, we're going to teach simple everyday habits that improve your mental and your physical well-being. We teach you ways to open up your time so you have time to breathe and to heal. We teach you how to reawaken your passion so that you care about your work again, and how to build something that feeds you instead of drains you. I have put the links to the workshops in the chat. I've got brochures somewhere as well that I will share with you. And if you join the waiting list and say you came from the webinar, then we can give you a special price for that as well. But now I am opening up for Q&A, and I'd love to hear from you what your questions are about the steps that we learned today. If you have a question, you can put your microphone on or put your hand up or type it into the chat. Let me know what you're thinking. No questions? Oh dear. Everyone overwhelmed? If you don't have a question, then I would love to know from you what your favorite moment or favorite step is, your big golden nugget is of today's training. If you could put in the chat what you feel is the step that would most help you, I would love to see what you have to say. You're also welcome to put on your microphone and just tell me if you don't feel like typing. And if no one starts typing, I'm going to start calling on random people.
Definitely taking time out. We are certainly always in the rat race. Go, 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 go. And there's always that feeling of guilt that you should be working more and not taking time out. Meantime, I've realized for myself that that time out, like you say, is so imperative to the success of your business.
Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks for sharing, because I must say, for me, it was a big thing. I always thought that, if my business wasn't where it should be, then I had no right to take that time off for me. But you need to.
Exactly. Definitely. Everything functions better.
Exactly. Ray, I see you put your camera on. Are you sharing?
Yeah. Sorry, I look terrible. So for me, I have found that it is quite important. Most of the people on here don't know, but I actually run two desks. Can we call it two desks? I have a South African business that I'm running, and then I'm also consulting for a company in the United States, which means I work crazy hours. And because I work crazy hours. Number one, I find it is absolutely, absolutely vital to train every day. So even if it's just a half an hour, most of the time I do a half an hour's worth of air skipping in my bedroom before I get up, before I go and brush my teeth and stuff, because it is so important just to get those endorphins and chemicals and stuff in your body working and going. I have found when I don't do it, I go into a slump. I go into a depression, sometimes worse than other times. So I find it vital. And then also what I do is with my American work, when America is in winter time, they are literally 9 hours behind us, depending on which area I work in. So what I do is I've actually set a block out time in my calendar. I've blocked out 2 hours where number one, I spend quiet time. For those who are Christians, I like to spend time with the Lord for an hour. People can meditate, whatever the case may be. And then I also, once I've done that and my mind is peaceful and I'm in a quiet space, then what I do is I try to have a nap. I try to sleep for half an hour to an hour before I transition into my American work, because that can take me through to 10, 11 o'clock at night. And having started working depending what time my candidates need me, sometimes I start 7 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I try to start a little bit later. But yeah, so those days can become really rough. And what I've also started doing is I have started giving myself Fridays off. So unless I absolutely, absolutely have to get stuff done, I block Friday off. So if like for instance week, because we had Wednesday off, I won't take Friday off because I've already had my day off for the week, unless I don't really have anything pressing. If I don't have anything pressing, then I'm gonna do what I need to do, and then I'm gonna turn my laptop off. The other thing I have a rule: no laptops after Friday afternoon. So when I turn my laptop off on Friday afternoon, my laptop's off. I don't do laptop time. I can't tell you don't do screen time because I love vegging and watching Netflix. But I don't turn my laptop on. I don't look at emails. I do not look at um, WhatsApps from candidates or anything like that. I respond to those on a Monday morning. So that's a not negotiable for me. The latest you will find me on my laptop, because I do have to work America, but also I've spoken to the guys in America and I've gone, look, guys, if I meet my quotas by Thursday, is it okay if I take Friday off? And they've gone, yeah, absolutely. Do what you need to do. They also see the value in, that balance and making sure that we take enough time for us. So those are just the little things that I've put into place to try and just make sure that there's balance and that I don't get to that place of absolute burnout. And then obviously planning. Planning is so, so, so important. On a Friday, before I turn my laptop off, I make sure that my diary is planned for Monday. Otherwise, will switch off over the weekend and I will go on a little tangent, because what do I have to get done and what have I forgotten to get done? So I find that if I make sure that my diary is scheduled for the week ahead, I can really switch off. And on Sunday, I actually get excited about Monday because I know what's waiting. So that also helps me quite a bit.
Yeah, see, time off does help us feel more excited again, doesn't it? Yeah, it sounds like you've got very good control of your calendar and your schedule. Well done. Very powerful thing.
Try. I don't always get it right, but I try.
Awesome. Anyone else want to share their nugget, their favorite step from today? If you do, put up your hand.
So yes, it's lovely to take time off, but it's the guilt that goes with it. Okay, and in my case, it's like if I'm not responding to somebody, it's their health an issue, you know. So I kind of, yeah, it's that, but it's saying, okay, because I'm overwhelmed on a personal level at the moment because I'm trying to sort out my house. So it's kind of like juggling between work and the house, and you go, okay, this is definite sort out time and this is definite work time, and yeah. But I mean, I still get clients who WhatsApp me at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. But you know, and I hear you, Marlon, because what you do does, it's, you know, you're in the medical, well, you help people with medical aid. For people who don't know Bronwyn, that's what she does. She makes sure that you get the right cover and that they actually pay out when you need them to. So I hear you. You know, if you feel like if you're not responding to people, it's affecting their health and where they are. But and if you take a step back from that as well, if you don't look after your health and you don't keep yourself in a good space, then you could end up where I was, you know, where you collapse and then none of your clients have you. So it is, you know, to deal with that guilt, just remember that there's a bigger picture than that one client who's messaging you at 9 o'clock that night. And how much of a difference will it make if you answer 20 minutes later or the next morning, in terms of they will still get their problem solved and you will keep your health.
I must be honest, I do coach my clients. I'm going, you're welcome to message me at 9 o'clock at night. However, I ain't gonna respond if it's something that I cannot do if it's a non-emergency. So if it's an emergency, start your message with 911. Because then I know your health is at serious risk and I need to organize a hospital for you, an ambulance or something. If it's not anything like that, then I will respond in working hours.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Those are good, healthy boundaries. So yeah, and just remember, you've got to look after you, otherwise all your clients are going to suffer. So no more guilt.
Yeah. That's the tricky one.
The other thing is also clients take liberties. If you allow them to message you, and that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I do recruitment and I work with a lot of blue collar workers, and a lot of them can't respond to you in working hours. So you have to make allowances to get them interviewed, whatever the case may be. But unless you keep those boundaries very, very clear, they will contact you all hours of the morning, all hours of the night. They'll contact you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and they will expect you to respond immediately. So, you know, it's very important, like you said, Bronwyn, that thing of putting that thing straight out. Look, you know, you're welcome to contact me. However, unless it is starting with 911, please note that I will not be attending to that message until tomorrow morning. Another thing I had to teach myself is the golden rule for good customer service is respond within a 24-hour cycle. You have 24 hours to respond. If you do, you are considered good at what you're doing. So because I was one of those people, I would see an email pop in and I would be like, "Whoa, I need to answer this immediately." And then I would find myself running around like a chicken, like a headless chicken. And at the end of the day, I would have gotten absolutely nothing done because I was grabbing and letting go on too many places. And I actually had to I had to set my settings on my laptop to not bring that little pop-up. I don't get that pop-up anymore. I check my emails once every hour, once every half an hour if I'm waiting for anything pressing, and I will respond accordingly. It's very important to have that in place.
Yeah, scheduling communication is as important as scheduling work, because otherwise it distracts you horribly from what you're doing. I constantly pulled away from stuff that's actually important or making you money because you're responding to emails or WhatsApps, and half the time they're not even work related. So Good. Awesome. Thank you everyone for feedback. I think that's everyone. Is there no one else wants to say anything here? I'm keeping microphones off. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you did learn something that you find helpful. If you do want help implementing anything, please give me a shout. And otherwise, I'm going to let you all go back to work. But please do make sure that you don't work too hard and you take some time off this weekend.
Thanks, Tamron. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Tamron.
Bye.